Hi class, it's Miss Raymond. The purpose of this video is to go over this note-taking sheet for the week of February 27th through March 5th. Okay, it's worth 100 points. So, assignment 1, you're going to go to the Learn section of the puzzle piece lesson in DocClick. The puzzle piece lesson is entitled Lesson 3, Speaking of Courage and Notes, and you're going to take notes on the video in that Learn section below. So you're just going to fill in the blanks and answer the 7 questions about the video in this lesson in the Learn section below. Okay, so you're going to follow this. Okay, and then here I want to know how you feel about it. All right, so this is just your personal opinion. So how does what happened to Bowker make you feel and why? What question or questions do you have when you read about that tragedy? You know, do you wonder, oh, I wonder what blah, 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 or this is interesting because, and I wonder, you know, X, Y, Z. Okay, and then you're going to fill in the blanks here. So that's the top of the sheet. Then you're going to scroll down to assignment 2. You're going to read these directions very carefully. You are going to read both Speaking of Courage and Notes in the Things They Carried, okay, in order to answer these questions. So you go to the book, The Things They Carried, you read the chapter Speaking of Courage, and you read the chapter Notes. Then you're going to answer the follow review questions in complete sentences and support your answers with information from one or both of the stories, Speaking of Courage and Notes, depending on the question. Okay, and I'm going to give you an example of that. You need to put anything from the story in quotes or else it's plagiarism and you won't get credit for the question. Do not copy and paste anything from the internet or you will not get credit for it. Read the stories and answer the questions to the best of your ability. So here's an example. This is not one of your questions. It's just an example of a question. And I'm going to show you how to answer it based on these directions above. Okay, so you get an idea. Look up symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. Which of these symptoms does Bowker exhibit? Bowker is the main character that O'Brien is talking about in both these stories. Here's an example of an answer and using information from the book to support it. One of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder that Bowker exhibits, see how I write this in a complete sentence? The question is, look up symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. Which of these symptoms does Bowker exhibit? I'm answering this question. One of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder that Bowker exhibits is, quote, reoccurrent, unwanted, distressing memories of the traumatic event. I put this in quotes because I pulled the definition from the internet. These are not my words. Okay, so my answer is this. I start with this, and then I support it. He is constantly thinking about how he could have won the Silver Star for Valor if only he had saved Kiowa. Okay, so that's a basic answer, but then I support it with something from the book. For example, when he thinks about visiting Sally, he thinks, quote, this is directly words from the story, he'd nod at whatever she answered with, and he would not say a word about how he'd almost won the Silver Star for Valor. And my question is, when I'm answering this question, what does that have to do with visiting Sally? Okay, so this is an example of post-traumatic stress because it has nothing to do with visiting Sally. These are unwanted, distressing memories. They keep interrupting his life. All right, so this is your turn. Now you're going to answer these 10 questions. Let me break it down for you, okay? So you can do 2 a day. Try doing 2 a day. Monday you do 1 and 2. Tuesday you do 3 and 4. Oops, we forgot 5 here, okay? I'll make that a 5. 5 and 6, you could do Wednesday. 7 and 8, you do Thursday. And then 10, you do Friday. You just break it up, okay? So, in the story, Speaking of Courage, what problems does Norman confront when he returns home from Vietnam? This is how you would start writing this in a complete sentence, okay? You're answering the question. One problem that Norman confronts when he returns home from Vietnam is, okay, what? You put, what is it? And then how do you know this? What I want to know is, how do you know this? What in the book is telling you this? Okay, so you could say, for example, O'Brien writes, O'Brien is the author, and then you put quotes because you're pulling something from the text to support your statement here. Okay, period, end quote. So that's how you would do that. Please contact me for help. I'm here to help you. If you don't understand something, I want to help you. Okay? Thank you very much.